I want to thank all the women and men out there who have supported me throughout this trial.
It's no secret that Conor McGregor and controversy often go hand in hand. The former UFC champion has long been one of the most recognizable faces in mixed martial arts.
Hands at his hips, having a conversation, looking to finish the fight. That's it.
Not just for his achievements inside the octagon, but also for his frequent brushes with the law and public scandals. Now, McGregor is making news again, but for all the wrong reasons. No surprises, right? Well, this one is big. A jury has officially found McGregor liable for assault, and the fallout is already hitting hard. The case involves shocking accusations, conflicting stories, and a court-ordered payout that's turning heads.
Irish mixed martial arts fighter Conor McGregor must pay nearly $260,000 in damages.
In fact, it's one of the biggest controversies he's ever faced, and it's raising questions about how this could impact his legacy.
Conor relaxed and smiling. Oh no!
In this video, I will be breaking down what happened, the details of the case, and what this could mean for McGregor's future. Could this be the scandal that finally leaves a lasting dent in the notorious fighter's career? Shocking new details of the assault. In the latest development, McGregor has been found liable for assault in a civil court case in Dublin, Ireland. Nikita Hand, the accuser, alleged that McGregor brutally assaulted and battered her in a Dublin hotel penthouse in December 2018. The case began on November 5th, as both parties put forward their cases. The trial drew significant public attention as both sides presented starkly contrasting stories. Hand's lawyer painted McGregor as a coward who lashed out at her in a fit of anger, while McGregor's defense team argued that Hand fabricated the allegations as a way to extort money from the star, who has an estimated net worth of $200 million in 2024. A former UFC featherweight and lightweight champion, McGregor is the biggest money-making star in mixed martial arts history, taking part in several of the highest-selling pay-per-view events, including a 2017 boxing match with Floyd Mayweather. After hours of intense deliberation, the jury, composed of 8 women and 4 men, sided with Hand, finding McGregor liable for the assault. The jury's decision came after 6 hours of discussion, signaling the weight of the case and the conflicting evidence presented. Once the jury delivered its verdict, the court revealed the details of the damages Conor McGregor was ordered to pay. After some back-and-forth clarification, the judge confirmed that the total amounted to about $257,000. This marked a significant ruling in the case, leaving McGregor's camp visibly stunned. Interestingly, this wasn't the only case tied to Nikita Hand. She had also filed a separate case against another man, James Lawrence, alleging that he assaulted her by having non-consensual sex with her in the Beacon Hotel. However, in that case, the jury found Lawrence not guilty of assault. For McGregor and his many supporters who had come to court to back him, the verdict was a shocking blow. While some might have anticipated a different outcome, the decision not only left the fighter grappling with legal consequences, but also added to the weight of public scrutiny surrounding him. Following the verdict, Nikita Hand took to the media to share her emotions, expressing relief and validation after what she described as a long and painful fight for justice.
I want to show Freya and every other girl and boy that you can stand up for yourself if something happens to you, no matter who the person is, and justice will be served.
You might be wondering who this Nikita Hand is. Well, Nikita Hand is a 35-year-old woman from Dublin who used to work as a hairdresser, but her life has taken a drastic turn since the alleged assault by Conor McGregor. She told the court that she hasn't been able to work due to her mental health struggles and the stress of being constantly in the media spotlight because of the case. The weight of everything made it impossible for her to continue her career. The incident didn't just affect her work, it also had a huge impact on her personal life. Hand said that her relationship ended not long after the assault, leaving her emotionally drained. Financial problems soon followed, and she had to leave her home because she couldn't keep up with her mortgage payments. On top of everything, she revealed that in June 2024, a group of masked men broke into her home, causing significant damage and even stabbing her partner. However, the judge ruled that this event wasn't relevant to the case against McGregor and ordered that the jury should not hear about it. But how did all this assault happen in the first place? You see, consent was the core of Nikita Hand's civil action against the notorious 36-year-old mixed martial arts fighter. The events in December 2018 that led to the case against Conor McGregor began with Nikita Hand, her colleague Danielle Keeley, James Lawrence and McGregor all heading to a hotel. The night started with McGregor picking up Hand and Keeley from a hair salon in Goatstown. From there, the group partied through the night, consuming alcohol and cocaine. Earlier in the night, McGregor and Lawrence had been separately partying at the Crystal nightclub. McGregor had been treating his crew to rounds of drinks and reportedly mentioned that cocaine was available. Lawrence admitted he had a few drinks, but claimed he never took cocaine and left the nightclub in a taxi before McGregor around 6 or 7 a.m. Later that morning, McGregor persuaded Lawrence to rejoin him, along with Hand and Keeley, to take the partying to another level. The four of them then headed to the hotel together. According to Hand, things took a dark turn when McGregor made advances toward her. She said she turned him down in a nice way, explaining that she did not feel comfortable because she knew his partner's family and her own partner was close friends with his partner's brother. Hand made it clear she wasn't willing to engage in anything physical. However, she claimed McGregor responded by telling her that he would not take no for an answer. Hand described what allegedly happened next in harrowing detail. She said that while both of them were still fully dressed, McGregor pinned her onto a bed in the hotel room. He reportedly told her to "relax, babe," while rubbing her face. She said she raised her arms to try to keep him away, but he used his weight to push down on her. Hand further alleged that McGregor put her in a chokehold 3 times, saying, "Now you know how I feel in the octagon when I tap the ground 3 times. By the way, what Hand implied here is that Conor was talking about his defeat against Khabib Nurmagomedov. She said, "The only thing I could move was my head. I bit him, but I can't remember where. He didn't like it, so he flipped me around and put his arm around my neck and choked me." Hand said she couldn't breathe, and fearing for her life and that she wouldn't see her daughter again, she eventually stopped resisting and let happen what was going to happen. When Hand's boyfriend found out about the assault, he pushed her to name the person. She hesitated, but then named McGregor and said, it is. He says he will kill me." The next morning, Hand, overwhelmed by pain and distress, went to her mother's house seeking comfort and help. Upon seeing her daughter's state, Hand's mother immediately called for an ambulance. Medical professionals responded and ensured she received the care she needed. From there, Hand was referred to the Rotunda Hospital's specialized unit for cases involving personal assault. At the hospital, a doctor conducted a thorough examination, noting that Hand appeared visibly shaken and extremely distressed. The examination also revealed bruising on multiple areas of her body, consistent with her account of the events. Medical staff provided necessary care to address her injuries and collected evidence as part of the standard procedure for such cases. The findings were documented and later presented as part of the legal process, underscoring the physical toll the incident had taken on Hand. Conor McGregor strongly denied all of these allegations. According to him, Hand had consented to intimacy and was an active and willing participant. He claimed there was no hesitation or distress on her part, describing their encounter as completely consensual and all happy. McGregor rejected Hand's account that he had put her in a chokehold or made any references to the octagon. In court, he stated, "I mean, how anyone could believe that of me as a prideful person would highlight my shortcoming. It is not in my nature. It is a full-blown lie among many lies that have been said here." Following the incident in December 2018, Hand took several significant steps. She went to the hospital and reported the encounter to the authorities, leading to an investigation by the Garda Síochána, Ireland's National Police Service. However, in 2019, the Director of Public Prosecutions decided not to pursue criminal charges against Conor McGregor, citing insufficient evidence. Undeterred, Hand initiated a civil lawsuit against McGregor in January 2021, seeking damages for the alleged assault. The civil trial commenced this year, and the verdict finally came now. Following the verdict, McGregor publicly announced his intention to appeal the decision, signaling his dissatisfaction with the jury's ruling. The former UFC champion, known for his confidence and assertiveness both in and out of the octagon, expressed his disappointment in how the case had been handled in court. In a statement addressing the verdict, McGregor said, "I am disappointed that the jury did not hear all the evidence that the DPP reviewed. The judge's instruction and the modest award given was for assault, not for aggravated or exemplary damages." His comments highlighted his belief that key pieces of evidence that might have influenced the jury's decision were excluded during the trial, leaving him feeling that the full context of the case was not considered. Despite the ruling, McGregor vowed to shift his focus toward his future endeavors. He extended his gratitude to his global supporters, acknowledging their unwavering loyalty during what he described as a challenging time. And just when it seemed Conor McGregor might step out of the spotlight following his civil case loss, the controversial fighter found himself embroiled in yet another public spat, this time with YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul. Known for his knack for stirring the pot, Paul wasted no time in taking a shot at McGregor. Shortly after the verdict was delivered, Paul posted a scathing tweet that read, "Dana hits his wife. Conor's convicted of assault, but I'm the bad guy." The comment, which referenced both McGregor's recent legal troubles and UFC President Dana White's prior controversy, was clearly designed to provoke, and it did provoke him instantly. McGregor, never one to back down from a fight, be it physical or verbal, responded from his official Twitter account, The Notorious MMA. His reply was a homophobic slur. The response immediately sparked backlash, with many criticizing McGregor for resorting to such language. Paul, quick to capitalize on the moment, clapped back with another tweet, calling out McGregor's choice of words and implying it reflected poorly on his character. By the way, Paul had previously challenged McGregor to an MMA fight, but the former UFC champion didn't give any response. Now that McGregor has lost the assault case, many are asking the big question, is jail time on the table? While that remains unclear, the idea of McGregor facing prison time doesn't feel as shocking as another headline from earlier this year, when he hinted at potentially running for president in 2025. That bold ambition now seems far-fetched, given the weight of the assault case and the damage it has done to his reputation. This legal loss casts a long shadow over McGregor's future, both personally and professionally. His carefully crafted legacy as a UFC icon and global celebrity now faces an uncertain fate. The fallout from this case could significantly tarnish his name, making a comeback all the more difficult. For McGregor, the road ahead is steep, and things are looking increasingly grim. Is this the end of Conor McGregor? Now, let's address the main question on everyone's mind. Is Conor McGregor going to jail after losing the assault case? The short answer is no, he won't. Here's why. The case was a civil trial, not a criminal one. Ireland's Director of Public Prosecutions decided not to pursue criminal charges against him, which means prison time isn't on the table. Now, there's an interesting detail about civil cases in Ireland. Unlike criminal cases, where you might expect some level of privacy or anonymity for the involved parties, that's not the case here. In civil trials, everything is out in the open, which means McGregor couldn't avoid the public scrutiny that came with this trial. The trial itself was clearly a tough experience for McGregor. He was visibly emotional in court, letting out a heavy sigh as he fought back tears. His mother and fiancée were there by his side, trying to comfort him as he grappled with the outcome. By the end of it, he shook his head in disappointment before walking out of the courtroom. And, while McGregor isn't going to jail, this case has still left its mark. One of the biggest consequences for him is the damage to his public image. Let's face it, he's not just a UFC fighter, he's an international superstar and a source of pride for many in Ireland. But now, with this verdict, his reputation has taken a hit. People are starting to question his legacy and what this means for his place in the world of sports. This isn't just a small bump in the road for someone like McGregor, it's a major moment that could reshape how he's remembered in the long run. There are growing speculations that brands associated with Conor McGregor will face significant pressure to re-evaluate and possibly reconsider their endorsements in light of the recent civil court verdict, holding him liable for sexual assault. Over the years, McGregor has forged lucrative partnerships with several high-profile brands, including Monster Energy, Reebok, Bud Light, Burger King, and Bucked Up. These partnerships have not only bolstered McGregor's public persona, but have also tied the brands closely to his larger-than-life image as a UFC superstar. However, the recent verdict has cast a shadow over McGregor's reputation, prompting questions about the future of these collaborations. Historically, brands have been quick to reassess, and in some cases sever ties with public figures entangled in legal or ethical controversies to safeguard their public image and align with societal expectations. While none of McGregor's current partners have publicly announced any changes to their endorsement deals with him, yet industry experts are weighing in with their predictions. Many believe it's only a matter of time before these brands feel compelled to take action. According to marketing analysts, the backlash associated with continuing these partnerships could lead to significant reputational risks for the companies involved, especially in the current climate of heightened accountability for public figures and the brands that support them. Some experts even suggest that the brands might terminate their deals with McGregor altogether to distance themselves from the controversy and mitigate potential damage to their own reputations. What's really got McGregor fans worried right now is whether this recent verdict might mess with his long-anticipated UFC comeback. Let's face it, the UFC legend has been out of the octagon for over 3 years, last seen fighting back in July 2021 when he suffered that brutal leg break. His big return was supposed to happen earlier, with a match against Michael Chandler set for June 29th this year, but that got scrapped thanks to a toe injury McGregor picked up during training. And now, UFC boss Dana White has already pushed the timeline, confidently announcing Conor will be back in the octagon in the summer of 2025. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait. But with this civil case verdict hanging over him, there's growing tension. Could it derail the entire comeback plan? That's the big question. For now, it seems UFC and Dana White are playing a wait-and-see game, and the possibility of shelving McGregor's return altogether isn't off the table. Still, all hope isn't lost just yet. A source told Daily Mail that Conor's UFC career is currently on ice, but not completely dead in the water. They also added something pretty interesting. It isn't over for Conor by any means, because he could win his appeal, and as we all know, the UFC and Dana White have had Donald Trump at their shows and are friendly with him. So, while things are definitely uncertain, McGregor's career seems far from finished, there might still be another chapter left to write in the story of his UFC journey. Let's not forget McGregor isn't the only UFC fighter to face assault allegations. Far from it. Unfortunately, the sport has seen its fair share of fighters who found themselves in serious legal trouble. Take Jason Miller, for example. Back in 2021, the former UFC fighter was arrested on felony domestic violence charges. The details of the case are chilling. He assaulted his girlfriend after an argument, leaving visible marks on her face and neck. When police tried to arrest him, Miller resisted, leading to him being tased before getting hauled off to the Los Angeles County Men's Jail. The victim's testimony made things even worse. She claimed Miller urinated on her, choked her until she collapsed, and then brutally punched and kicked her while she was on the floor. Unsurprisingly, Miller's UFC career came to an abrupt end after that. Then there's Alexander Emelianenko, a Russian MMA fighter who ended up behind bars for an assault case that shook the industry. In 2014, Emelianenko was accused of assaulting his housemaid, Polina Stepanova, and even stealing her passport. Although he claimed the encounter was consensual, the court thought otherwise. In 2015, he was found guilty of assault and sentenced to 4.5 years in prison, effectively ending his career. For many fighters, allegations like these have been career-ending, but McGregor's situation feels different. His fame and massive fan following make this more than just another scandal. The intensity of the charges against him means this isn't something he can brush off as a minor controversy. Unlike Miller or Emelianenko, McGregor's popularity and his larger-than-life persona add a whole new level of scrutiny. Whether his star power will be enough to weather this storm remains to be seen, but one thing's for sure: this is a defining moment for both his career and his legacy. This is more than just another controversy in McGregor's career. Conor McGregor's larger-than-life personality and unapologetic behavior have often put him in the headlines for reasons far beyond his performance in the octagon. From explosive outbursts to legal troubles, McGregor's career has been as much about the drama outside the cage as the fights within it. However, this recent assault verdict feels different, more consequential and harder to shake off than the controversies that have come before. In fact, the controversies and scandals of McGregor's past pale in comparison to the gravity of the recent assault case. However, they paint a clear picture of his pattern of troubling behavior, suggesting a mindset where he often appears to view himself as untouchable or above the law. Take the example of the bus attack at UFC 223 Media Day. It was the day when the feud between Conor McGregor and Khabib Nurmagomedov took a dark turn. That day, it wasn't just about competition in the octagon, it turned into an all-out personal war that spilled into the real world. It all kicked off when McGregor, clearly furious, hopped on a private jet with his crew and flew straight to New York. Once there, he went straight to the Barclays Center, where UFC 223 Media Day had just wrapped up. Inside a bus preparing to leave the venue were several fighters, including Khabib, and McGregor was ready to make his presence felt. What happened next was pure chaos. McGregor and his crew intercepted the bus, and in a moment of rage, he grabbed a metal dolly and hurled it through one of the windows. Glass shattered everywhere, and fighters Michael Chiesa and Ray Borg were left injured, so badly, in fact, that they had to pull out of their fights. The footage of McGregor's rampage spread like wildfire, and soon after, a warrant was issued for his arrest. It was the first major legal mess in McGregor's career, and one that cemented his reputation as a fighter who would go to extreme lengths to settle a grudge. But McGregor's antics weren't just physical. His words often got him into trouble too. One of the lowest moments in his rivalry with Khabib came when he insulted Khabib's wife in a tweet. He mocked her for wearing an Islamic veil, referring to her as a towel. It wasn't just a personal jab, it was a slap in the face to over 1.5 billion Muslims around the world. The backlash was instant and severe, with many calling him out for crossing a line that had nothing to do with sport or rivalry. There is also Conor McGregor's altercation with Machine Gun Kelly. In September 2021, Conor McGregor and musician Machine Gun Kelly were involved in a public altercation at the MTV Video Music Awards held at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. As both celebrities arrived at the VMAs, McGregor approached MGK, reportedly to greet him. However, the interaction quickly escalated. According to reports, MGK's security intervened, leading to a confrontation where McGregor was seen lunging toward MGK. Security personnel and MGK's girlfriend, actress Megan Fox, intervened to separate the two. Subsequent footage showed McGregor throwing a drink in MGK's direction. The exact cause of the altercation remains unclear, with differing accounts from various sources. Some reports suggest that McGregor requested a photo with MGK, which was declined, leading to the confrontation. However, McGregor's spokesperson denied this, stating that Conor McGregor had not asked anyone for a picture, nor had he instigated this incident. On another occasion, McGregor threatened to harm Dustin Poirier, his wife, and daughter, by sharing a series of tweets stating, "I'm a nasty dude, I promise you," and "I am a dangerous man." And while his threats to Dustin Poirier and his family ahead of their fight could be chalked up to hyping up the bout, but not everything surrounding McGregor can be dismissed as fight promotion. Some allegations against him have been far more serious, with real-world consequences that can't just be ignored. Take, for example, what happened in July 2022 during his birthday celebrations in Ibiza. A woman accused McGregor of becoming aggressive and assaulting her aboard his private yacht. Things allegedly escalated to the point where she felt she had no choice but to jump off the yacht to escape. At first, she didn't file a formal complaint, but later, she provided a statement to Irish authorities, which was shared with Spanish police. She said, "It was as if he was possessed. I knew I had to leave the boat because I thought he was going to kill me." According to the alleged victim, rescuers helped her ashore. She was wearing just her bikini when she went into the water. She said she had no money or phone and just wanted to get back to her hotel as soon as possible. She gave a statement to the Irish police in which she claimed, "They left me stranded. They wouldn't even abandon a dog the way they did me." The Ibiza assault case eventually fizzled out when the woman chose to discontinue the lawsuit in February 2023, with no explanation given as to why. Even though the case didn't go further, the allegations painted a troubling picture of McGregor's offering behavior. Later that same year, during Game 4 of the NBA Finals in Miami, McGregor found himself in the spotlight again, and not for a good reason. A woman accused him of assaulting her in a restroom at the Kaseya Center. According to her, McGregor violently attacked her after security allegedly coerced her into the restroom. She said that McGregor aggressively kissed her before also attempting to force her into multiple sexual acts. His legal team flatly denied the allegations, maintaining his innocence throughout. In October 2023, prosecutors ultimately decided not to press charges, citing insufficient evidence to move forward. And how can I forget about the Dublin pub incident where McGregor can be seen on video punching an elderly man? In April 2019, Conor McGregor made headlines for all the wrong reasons after an altercation at the Marble Arch pub in Dublin. During a visit to the pub, McGregor was promoting his whiskey brand, Proper No. 12, and offered patrons complimentary shots. However, when 50-year-old Desmond Keogh declined the offer, not once but several times, McGregor reacted by punching him in the head. The incident was captured on CCTV, and the footage, later released by TMZ Sports in August 2019, sparked widespread outrage. The video shows McGregor standing at the bar and engaging with patrons before delivering an unprovoked strike to Keogh, who remained seated and composed throughout the ordeal. Despite the blow, Keogh did not retaliate, which only amplified public criticism of McGregor's behavior. Many viewed the incident as an example of the UFC fighter's growing temper and lack of restraint outside the octagon. Following the release of the footage, McGregor faced legal consequences. In November 2019, he appeared in Dublin District Court, where he pleaded guilty to assault. The court imposed a fine of approximately $1,100 USD at the time. Although the fine was relatively minor compared to McGregor's substantial wealth, the incident dealt a significant blow to his public image. With all these controversies and scandals, one thing is clear: Conor McGregor has consistently portrayed himself as someone who remains unfazed by criticism or public outrage. Time and time again, he's weathered backlash with the same audacious confidence that defines his presence in and out of the octagon. Now, as he faces yet another storm storm following the recent assault verdict. The question isn't just about how he'll respond, but whether this could be the controversy that finally leaves a lasting mark on his career. Many believe McGregor will approach this challenge as he has done with past scandals, head-on, unbothered, and defiant. He's built a reputation for denying or minimizing allegations, often framing himself as the target of opportunistic attacks rather than accepting fault. It's likely he'll take the same route here, challenging the verdict while attempting to control the narrative. His history suggests that he'll downplay the severity of the incident, as he's done before, leaning on his charismatic persona to redirect attention. However, this time feels different. The gravity of the accusations and the civil court's decision to hold him liable for assault make this a far more serious matter than a bar scuffle or a trash-talking controversy. Even McGregor's most loyal fans may find it harder to brush this off as just another chapter of the Notorious being his wild self. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, check out the suggested content on your screen by clicking one of the cards displayed.